even for me, it was like almost, it was unrealistic, like what is really happening. And this is like, I wrote it. And it was like, whoa, everything that is built to bring us up, it's also breaking us down. The dancehall is in here.
It's in here and it's outside.
Outside. I always tell a lot of people like, bro, we're here. We don't necessarily even need the charts.
Yeah. Damone Squidell Wilson. I know you as Squidell.
Yeah.
Good to see you, bro.
My bro.
My
brother.
Respect. I love this book, you know.
Yeah?
I bought it because I had to buy it because it was your book. And I've always respected you so much
Thanks.
rated what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love reading as well. So it was a must, but I authentically loved it. I messaged you about it as well.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it more and more why I enjoyed it so much. But for me, it was an insight right into the oracle of the dancehall music industry.
Yes.
From someone who is cut from that cloth.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we'll get into like more about that. But I just want to congratulate on it first and foremost to say thank you for my own enjoyment.
Yes, bro. Just thanks for the support.
It would, man. So what inspired you to write this book first and foremost?
You know what? It was more of a thing where like, I love books so much. Like I have a entirely library in my house.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So for me, it was like, even times I would just like stare at it. So it's more of like, you know what? I want to see my name in a book, you know.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, so like, there was a few people I told like, you know what, I'm going to write a book. And some was like, okay, go for it. And then, you know, some was like, okay, cool. So I started around in 2020. Yeah, so it took me like over 4 years.
People don't realize the graft of a book is so long to get the time to do it, to edit it back and then refine it and then put and promote it. It's a proper graft.
Yes, because you know what, bro, like I remember like there were times when it's like I couldn't sleep, like for months I couldn't sleep because I would be working from say like from 8 in the morning to like even 12 in the night. And then when I like go to bed, it's like this, and then something is like, get up, right? This so get up back again like 3 a.m. And I'm just on it because you're in creative, like, so you would definitely understand there are times when it's like something kind of inspire you or you feel like you missed something, you feel like you have to rush to the studio.
Absolutely. You got to get it out.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it for me, man. Like, so yeah.
It's a joy, man. Because obviously, like, I'm 1 degree separation from dancehall music all the time. It's one of passion of mine. I've worked within and out it, but I've never been in it like someone like yourself. So I learned so much, man. And like, I think it's important actually for people to understand the realities of some of these scenes, cultures and environments if you're going to A, align with it or B, work alongside it, right? So, and I think that this does that really well. And I encourage anyone who's into dancehall music and if anyone who particularly works around it or outsources it to clue yourself on. Because there might be certain nuances you just don't understand that after this makes sense and will make your process easier anyway.
Yes, because you know what, like, we're living here in the UK, like, one of the most asked questions, like, whenever I'm talking to someone from here is like, what's happening with the music? Why is it struggling? Like, why is it not as big as what that music or this music? So I feel like the book kind of give, like, details, like, you know, because I even have, like, people that read it and they came back to me and they're like, I understand what is going on there now. How can we make this better?
There you go. Because there's so much in that, like obviously the social side. The reason that reggae and dancehall sounds like it sounds because it comes from a space that is a certain way, right? And that's why the world gravitates towards it, in my opinion, because it's so authentically full of spirit. And you don't get that spirit without certain environments and pain and struggle and all those things. But with that comes the infrastructure and problems within it.
Yes, it came with politics, it came so much, you know, because if you notice, right, even like for reggae music, you know, it was way more of like, say, okay, like going against like the grid then. Like what's the norm? Like it was basically like chanting for peace, just protesting against stuff like basically the system would want to force and put on people. You understand?
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, it's like it was definitely a sound for the oppressed people.
Mm.
Yeah, so of course there are some people that is like in power, like they don't want to get this thing out and mainstream.
Yeah. That message sadly goes against the agenda of so many people who sell this music.
Exactly.
So that's why we love it and we rate the artists that have managed it. Bob Marley being the most obvious one, of course. But there's loads within that. And like when they get in that pedestal that we all want them to be and be as loud as they should be, we love it because there's so much people trying to stop that message within the music industry.
A lot, yeah. So we definitely have to give credit to, like, of course, Bob Marley, just like you said, like, for what he has done. But plenty of the time, like the Bob Marley that I listen to, is probably still not the ones that are the most popular ones.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, because I still love the revolutionary Bob more than the one.
The more widespread.
Yeah.
But it came from a revolutionary space, that's what I'm saying. And it allows people to go back to that era from the shotgun stuff they may know, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I think like this to me explains loads of stuff that I suspected and I've worked around, but from someone like yourself who's so entrenched in the sound culture and industry, has basically verified it. And it's made me alone think slightly different about environments and artists I work with and have worked with.
Wow.
So in a way, it's a tool for me as a producer, you know, because I work with a lot of reggae dancehall artists sparsely, but in quite intense sprees. So it might be like, I go from in here working with like a more traditional songwriter, kind of European sound, and then Jamaicans in town and they want to come and do some work and they come down and naturally the culture, the approach and the energy is different. And I have to adapt to that as a producer, right?
Yeah, you did very well.
Thank you, Ron. Right? But because I've been around it for years, I understand it and I can adapt that energy switch.
Yes.
But what this did for me is it verified certain things that I need to be conscious of and respect more and actually follow intuition on. So, for example, entourage.
Yes.
Some people think that entourage is just annoying and ego-based.
Right.
But as you explain in this book, that's not often the case, right?
No, it's not.
So why does certain artists roll with a bag of people?
Yes, because you know what? And again, like, I always say, like, think about it. Like, just imagine, like, some famous artist or celebrity walking along the streets and it's just them alone. Naturally, like, we're expected to see important people with security guards or just a lot of people in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think there's also, like, understand, like, they kind of want this because, remember, outside of everything, it's also showbiz. And it has to look the part, it has to play the part. You understand? So it's not just all like, okay, it's just like one bag of man or a group of people. I understand the concerns because, again, as I see in the book, it can get a bit crazy at times.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's also needed.
Yeah.
It's just about managing it.
Mm-hmm. This is the thing that people think or have thought around me. But security, as you mentioned, it's very important for these people that they're admired. They say things in their songs that might give an energy that people want to come against for their own.
Yes. And it's just energy, vibes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you would know because you work with dancehall artists. Just you will see when they came through, and it's just them and their friends and their vibes. Mm-hmm. And so the vibes, the energy, is just different.
It's kind of an extension of the individual, isn't it? You understand?
Exactly.
So you have the artist and then their crew is like basically a plussed version.
Yes.
And they give feedback in the studio. They go get them.
And they take from them too as their vibes, their energy. You know, I said, like, with even, like, you know, they went to a concert and some of the time, like, just their entourage, just the fact that they are cheering on them so much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost like, okay, I already have these people. Mm-hmm. And you know what it is like. The moment, like, some set of people is like, automatically others will be like, okay, probably I'm missing something. Yeah. Let me join in with them.
Yeah.
So it plays a very vital role.
I mean, that's so positive though. That's like your crew, that's your family going, go on.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not annoying, that's actually beautiful.
So it's not all poison.
No, not at all. That's what I'm trying to say. And like, there's so much in this book that verified that for me. And obviously, like, there is the bit with the entourage about also looking like you're the man or the gal and you've got your crew, which is probably more obvious. But again, that serves a purpose for the image of artists too, particularly in reggae dancehall, which is that thing. So there's multiple layers of the entourage, and it's not as annoying as people think is preempted. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. There's tools in this book that myself and my colleague can learn from and say, look, if we're going to walk in these spaces, then we need to know why this is happening and not just treat it as a nuisance. You understand?
Exactly.
You see, bro, I'm telling you, this book here, if you're into reggae and dancehall and you're in the game, this is like a what's the word? Like a manual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The Bible. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? But I want to touch on some other things. I like the way your chapters are like about different things, and you can like literally go in community, female friends, entourage, managers, education, etc. I thought like the social media thing was dope about like how people try and make noise in a noisy space, which is the internet.
Yes.
And how people do things to get noticed, which is happening across the board in every industry, whether you're in food, cars, lighting, coffee cups. But the dancehall vibration, I feel like they were kind of onto it earlier than a lot of the rest of society.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, if you look at like calling out an artist, a Clash, if you look at obviously the king of PR, which is Cartel, he was doing pre this era.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of it, and I could be wrong, is like working with tools. The less tools you have, the more creative you have to be, right? And I think social media is really good for a lot of communities and people that ain't got big things and that. So they use them and the phone to be as creative as they can and make noise. And I feel like in dancehall culture, that's always existed, you know?
Yeah, for real.
And I feel like the social media thing has like enabled a lot of people to be very creative and loud and disrupting online to catch attention, and then you listen to the tune.
Yes, that's true.
And that happens across all genres.
All genres, yeah. It's almost crazy now. Like you can't just release something and just authentically feel like it's going to get noticed. Something also have to be attached to it.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to do something to get in some attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is now.
And also, that he says in this, artists leak videos or like pretend that they're doing something and all that just to get people back to the music.
Exactly. Yeah, because trust me, well, you know the landscape. It's a bit, it's millions of people on there.
Yeah.
So just imagine taking up your phone and have to be like focusing on something like, it have to be something a bit crazy.
Disruptive. So you actually stop on it. I do feel like the reggae dancehall personality, I've been good at that from early. So Jamaicans are so inherently creative, in my experience, that is just a natural ability.
Natural for them.
Yeah. You know what it's like when you're in Jamaica, everyone's got a nickname on their whole being is a brand. You understand?
Yeah, for real.
So it's like almost an extension of that. Like, I think it's really well put in this as well. I think the money chapter was dope too, because it's so hard when you're up, right? And you're feeding so many people. And you've got to look the part, and you've got to feed the entourage, and it's rough.
You know what, bro? Like that chapter, even for me, it was like after it was finished, and after like going back over the book, then it's even for me, it was like it was unrealistic, like what is really happening. And this is like, I wrote it, and I was like, whoa, it's that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it also saw plenty of times now, like when I would see probably or hear like someone like making after X amount of money, it's almost like, you know what, I hope they get to keep that money.
Yeah. Totally. That's what I mean. Like this book to me zooms out on stuff that I couldn't apply to my career too. And it's like that fast pace, now at the moment, chain, whatever, this fly out. It's just not sustainable, sadly, is it?
It's not.
Unless you're having hits for like 10, 20 years, which is, again, very rare.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. Yes, so yes, bro, like it's crazy. Just imagine like just the fact that you have a hit song, the first thing you have to do is get a BMW or get a Benz or something.
Straight away. So that type of thing that is, again, more in this space than say like, I don't know, like rock or whatever, the bad example. You get a hit tune, you're in Jamaica, you need to look like you've got the hit tune, as well as people hear the hit tunes you have to buy, like you say.
Yes.
People feel pressured to buy the car and
the entourage, everything that's going to come with it.
Yeah. So it's like almost amplifying.
Yeah, so it's like, yes, you're making $2 million. But the moment you leave your house, you might spend $1.5 million.
To live up to that image and perception,
that expectation
that you've created.
And the fact that is like, if you have to do it. Because the moment is that people are thinking like, wait, what he's saying are, how comes he's here, but this is happening?
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know what, no, we can't even like listen to this anymore. I listen to that, man.
And that's because people might not see what they're talking about, so they don't believe it type thing. Is that what you mean?
It's not just that. I think it's more like, for example, like, probably say a lot of people would think like, okay, Toddler T, have it like that.
Yeah.
And the moment there's like, wait, what is Toddler T doing? Like, it's almost like, no, I can't even relate to him. I need somebody else.
Yeah.
I think it's more like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's purely image and shop front based in that. Yeah.
It's like someone would rather be seated in a bus and see their favorite artist drive past them with the vibes and the loud music.
Yeah.
And more be like, my artist, and feel so good.
Yeah.
More than to see the same artist like hopping on the bus with them and sitting beside them. They're gonna be like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get it. No, I hear it. You need that kind of admiration and aspiration to be intuition.
Yes, but it's going to cost. So it's almost like everything that is there to bring us up, it's also breaking us down.
On to the next. I mean, sadly, that's like how the music industry can work. It's conveyor belt, isn't it?
Yeah, but something has to change, though.
I totally agree.
Something has to change. Hence why, again, I try to tell a lot of people, like, okay, I understand the facade. I understand what it is that you have to do, but please remain focused.
You've done many things in music. One of the main things you do is management for artists. Who do you currently manage?
Governor Ching Ching.
Amazing, right? Pure dancehall artists, like the rawest, the realest, the purest, right?
Yeah.
Everything in this book is learned from that space and can be applied. But it's hard, isn't it, to like tell someone who's in flow to change their navigation of stuff like we just discussed, like money spending, like long-term plans. Like me as a producer, yeah, I'm the same. When I'm up and I'm having big tune, I think it's going to last forever, right? So I'm not saying I'm not accusing anyone of anything.
Yeah.
But like, it's hard to be advised when you can't see anything but what's happening now. You understand? How do you approach that with your artists? How do you like guide them when they're up and they can't see anything but the moment? Like, it's not easy,
It's not easy, but I try to, for me, I try to basically like, I tell them like, listen, stay on a budget. Understand like, okay, even though you have $100, it's not entirely like yours. There's some that your bills, there's this, there's that. So, for example, like, from each, say a show, like, or whatever, or something that some money came in from, it's almost like, okay, what is going towards investment? What is going towards saving? What is going towards your daily, your living? It has to be break down in parts. It can't be like, okay, I have just all of this money in my pocket. You understand? Yeah, so it's pretty much like, put 5 towards investment, put 5 towards saving, put 5 towards living expense, put 5 towards your family. It's almost like that.
Break it up.
Break it up, yeah.
It's like accounting, innit? It's accountancy, yeah.
Think about it. That's how like most the biggest firm, they have the accountant. Like the biggest artist, they have the accountant that's going to say like, look, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't taught those skill sets growing up, especially from certain spaces. It's just not available, is it?
No, because again, you would know, like, we're not taught about money.
Yeah.
In school, you understand? So even for me, that was something that I had to learn on my own. And just from my knowledge, I can say, yo, listen, like, I read this book, that book, this is what I learn. And after reading it, I think about it and find that it's necessary and it can work.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, this is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to try.
Yeah. It's money's a tough one, particularly like brand association. Like when I'm in Jamaica, yeah, I see a lot of artists on billboards like associated to a brand like Digicel, Boom, whatever, like all these brands. And it's dope. Like as a fan, I'm like, this is sick. Got ching-chings on the board, or you know what I mean? But that I presume there's a big financial reward for those type of collaborations. But often, is it the right choice for certain artists? Like not in that circumstance. But for example, like I don't know, some brand might come into town who's got no alignment with the artist, and actually it's not a good look for the artist, but they're offering them XYZ. It's hard, isn't it, to say no to these opportunities if it doesn't align with the long-term plan. So how the power of saying no is a tricky one, and that must be something that you can potentially advise when needed as someone who's learned for longer than them, right?
Yes, after. You understand? And for me, bro, trust me, I'm so good at saying no. I say no to so many things. A lot of people think I am.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but I've learned that not all money is good money. And some money can definitely break a situation.
Yeah.
Likewise, you can be making $1 and for the next 100 years, you're still making that dollar.
Yeah.
So it's all about being smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that comes with experience, right? Because when you're fresh to something and it's all happening, that's all you know in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we see it right now with fast-paced media consumption. We just touched on TikTok and all that. It's happening today, but it can fall off a cliff tomorrow. It's more than ever.
More than ever.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, just like that, bro. Something is so popular today, it's trending today and tomorrow. It's almost like it's never there.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get distracted. Because you know what, bro, like I've learned that living somewhere, it's like if you're not into, say, reading, you know, it's almost like you can't see farther than your surrounding.
Absolutely.
Exactly, bro. And even though you might have a smartphone, people are really like also following people within the community or someone else. So they're not necessarily like still looking what's going on in Europe or Africa.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of artists, like they might have a tune that broke in whatever, I don't know, 2002. And they're still ringing out in London, still ringing out in Belgium, they're still ringing out in Japan, and they're still touring off the back of it.
Yes, because even just recently I was in Germany. And then like for the dancehall juggling, it's not what is playing now.
Right.
There's a lot of 90s, even early 2000 music, even beyond that.
Yeah. So those
even
artists...
some stuff like I've never heard in Muslim.
Really?
Like, what? So, plenty of that happen.
I feel like the dancehall's funny because it's like, it might not chart all the time like mainstream records do here in the UK, but in every pocket of the world, there is a dancehall community.
Yes, I always tell a lot of people to, because I feel like a lot of people are concerned about, okay, the charts. But I've always said like, okay, yes, the chart is there, but who are the people that really even control the charts? You know,
Absolutely.
They're linked to this label or that company and things. So it's so easy. That's just like me owning a label. Toddler Teeth control the chart and say, hey, I'm putting out something. I need it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for dancehall now, it's like, it's not that regulated.
I think it's interesting for me, and because I do a lot of those, I'm involved in a lot of music that goes through that traditional system here in Britain. Major label, Spotify, rare.
Yes.
And then I've got one foot in the dancehall space too. So I'm in the middle of both sometimes, which is super interesting. Now, Spotify, as we know, is owned by the same companies that put out a lot of these records that I'm talking about over here. So naturally, they're going to front load those tunes, right? It's stupid not to, yeah? So then you've got that. And then the dancehall world often isn't remotely plugged into that world. So you don't see the same quote unquote numbers as you would as that. But
The dancehall is in here.
it's in here and it's outside.
Outside.
That's the difference.
Because even some songs that probably yes in there in the UK, they have so many more streams, so many more views. But think about it whenever you're in a party and popcorn family come on. And if you do, man, make it know that's the whole entire party singing.
Exactly. And the cars flying past every day and the way we copy the fashion and lingo and all of that. It's so outside, as we'd say, way more than a lot of this music that I almost call system music, which is designed to just flow back and forth. Yeah. And so like, I do understand why people might be like, well, why isn't it getting the same XYZ as this? But actually, in terms of like impact, through my lens here in London, UK, it's still as vibrant, if not than ever.
After, bro, like, because I learned this even recently too, you know? Yeah, I was at work and I was talking with one of my colleagues and then he was explaining to me like, bro, in recent times, the big records even here in the UK, it's dancehall. And I was like, for it. He was like, a record that can be played at a wedding, a party, a funeral, wherever, a festival, and everyone would know it. And he was like, think about it. Gilly bang, whap whap. And I was like, right? And then he was like, Byron Messiah. Anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And probably even now, those songs probably still haven't gone gold or silver here in the UK.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, so...
It's so impactful culturally.
Exactly. I saw something recently when I believe it was recently, Being a Man, Oh My, that went, that got some silver or gold, I don't remember. But that record, everyone knows that record.
Literally. My sister who's not into dancehall like that, my next door neighbor is like, it's so entrenched in our whole existence.
Exactly. So I always tell a lot of people like, bro, we're here. We don't necessarily even need the charts.
Yeah. I think that is kind of the whole existence as well of why this book's important. Because yes, they might not be in the Spotify top 200 like people want it to be, but as this incredible piece of literature explains not only how to navigate into it, but how to make money out of it and to celebrate it. Yeah, and that, Squidell, I salute you highly. Big up yourself. Thanks for everything you're doing. And this thing here, you see this one here? You know what to do. Yeah? All right. Done.
Steeze Factory.